Lady, please. Lady. Lady, it's time to stop. Alright, we've got one person on. Hello. Just making all the announcements to Discord. Alright. Lady, please. Family dog is a dumbass, but I love her. I kind of should probably get more used to just talking to myself. I feel like that will help me with these. Got 2 people on. Yeah, Ixer's here. Or Coffee Snake. I don't know which one you prefer. It says Ixer on YouTube, and that's what I see first, so what up? I'm hoping you can hear me and making sure that my mic just hasn't shit the bed, because that would suck. Nice. Really, I just want to get into the habit of using the mic. Yeah, I found that other account, but it was dead. Can we get an F in the chat for Ixar Cafe, the DeviantArt? Well, let's continue with this big piece. I mean, someone's got to pay respects here. I'm not quite a Twitch thought yet, but I'll get there, don't worry. Yeah, I found the other account too. And if there's different art on both accounts, I tend to follow it. Because I like supporting people. Sometimes I leave comments unreplied to for several days or even weeks just because I like looking at them in my box. And I know you can uncheck the thing that says to delete the comment from your notifications once you've replied, but I like seeing nice comments, so I keep them in my notifications. It makes me happy. So if I've never replied to someone's comment, or I reply like weeks late, that's probably why. It's called self-care, sweetie. Yeah, my family follows most of my social media, so yeah. Luckily, they are kind of used to the kind of shit I put out. I can appreciate mysterious art. It's like Banksy, but, you know, Thomas the Ham. Currently, two doggos crashed in my room, one on the bed, one on the floor. Oh, Luca's totally crashed. Baby boy, you're gonna get a crick in your neck sleeping like that. a pretty big feeling that coloring this is going to be a bit tedious, but I signed up for this. If I was bothered by tediousness, I wouldn't have been doing this for 5 years. Hey Rose. Yeah, don't worry about it. I mean, my streams aren't exactly the most action-packed. You're not missing out on the secrets of the universe. I'm just sorting through markers and very slowly making progress on this giant picture. Though having more people is certainly always welcome. Because holy shit, does it feel awkward just kind of talking to myself. But I feel like it might be good, I don't know, practice if I want to do more of these. And I think people like the mic'd up streams. I don't know, you tell me. I don't know what people want in this world. Is it big titty anime girls? Well, for this one, it's less about picking out the colors because the originals were already drawn. It's just, well, for some of them, finding the closest equivalent color because they were drawn with different materials. Yeah, I definitely think people enjoy the streams where I'm actually talking a bit more just because it's more interactive. So, you know, I'm here to please. As established, Twitch thought in the making. I'm here to seduce you while poorly playing Fortnite or whatever it is the kids do these days. It is kind of nice looking back every year and just seeing, you know, the previous creatures. And you know, I've been reposting all of them to Tumblr, so I'm slowly getting through each year. I'm going through year 2 right now. And you know, just seeing how much of a change there has been not only in terms of, actual drawing skill, but in the creative process as well. It's just kind of satisfying to look back on. If you ever want an ego boost, just look at your old art and look at how much you've improved. 10 out of 10 cured my depression. Yeah, YouTube doesn't really have its shit together with stream notifications. It may cut out, I don't know. Unfortunately, my laptop is kind of not ideal for hosting the streams. What I might do in the future is, if I can get a long enough USB cable extender, is I might host them through my desktop instead and just use the laptop as like just to check on the status of the stream and look at the comments. Because as established, my beast machine is just, it's a good boy. Yeah, it definitely looks like there's some sort of issue, but yeah, I'm not really sure what it is, if it's on my end, if it's just YouTube being YouTube, if the gods of the internet just dislike me today. We may never know. Yeah, I'm gonna go with about 70% it's YouTube's fault, because that's usually the case. Probably one of my favorite things about this year was rediscovering my love of water-based brush markers. So back when I first was kind of getting into drawing, I started with a very simple set of brush pens, and I still use them to this day. I actually still have some from that set, like this red one, the Pigma brush. It's from that original set that I used, and I just loved the feel of them. Later on, I sort of graduated to Copics just because I really like the flow of alcohol-based ink and how it blends. I guess there's something nostalgic about using that material that I started out with, and now going back to it, knowing what I know now, and knowing with the skills that I have now, it's just very satisfying to me. I have evolved. I've gone from small baby to small baby with a lot more markers. It has changed over the years, like even looking at thematically how the creatures have changed. I feel like they're a lot more cohesive now. Even the ones that I improv. I just feel like they're more structured now. I have a better understanding of design than I ever did. That's just practice. You keep going. If Copics and even off-brand Copics, just alcohol-based markers in general, I love the feel. Obviously, I prefer Copics because they just feel the best out of all the markers I've ever used in my life. But even the off-brand ones, they have a great ink flow and they're usually extremely good at blending. I find my biggest problem with off-brands is less even the ink and more the quality of the nubs. I just feel like the nubs kind of fray out. And that's extremely annoying because, you spend your money on these markers. And now the nubs are going and can't really do anything with them even if they're still ink. But in terms of off-brand Copics, obviously the original is the best, but if you do want off-brand Copics, I kind of recommend Artist Loft. They have some decent quality alcohol-based markers. You can tell because they try to make them look like Copics, but they're not quite there. But they're still decent quality. Again, just be careful with the nibs. You got to be a bit more delicate with them. Yeah, if you have to like shake the marker because the colors just weren't put in properly, that's a bad knockoff. I haven't had that issue even with the Artist Loft ones. So there's my endorsement. I look forward to the partnership money. and the brand deal, because I'm just totally the one you want to promote your brand. Like, oh, what could possibly go wrong with this girl besides, you know, titty monsters? I'm just trying to appeal to the masses. I think I'm gonna go for another hour-and-a-half stream today, so an extra hour. Yeah, there tends to be one in the bunch. I kind of wanted to get into the habit of streaming a bit longer than I have, and also streaming more often. Like, some days I'll take the day off just because I'm kind of feeling lazy. I really want to get into the habit of actually streaming every day so long as I'm able to. You know, obviously, things happen. I have the seizures, so I can't guarantee I'd ever be able to do it, but you know, I do want to take things seriously, so I kind of want to actually do this daily. And then to stream for slightly longer when I do. So instead of the hour that I've kind of been doing before, to, you know, work up to an hour-and-a-half, maybe 2 hours at one point, just slowly build up to that. Look at all those chickens. Well, I just dropped one of my markers because I'm an absolute spaz. There it is. Exciting stuff going on here, folks. Are you on the edge of your seat? I know I am, because most of my chair is taken up by my blanket. Has the stream cut out, or is it just on my end that it looks like it's shitting itself? I cannot tell, but I will assume YouTube is being a fuck. Okay, good. Just want to be sure. Yeah, because it's just buffering on my end for whatever reason. YouTube just can't handle this, man. It cannot handle this riveting content. I know, like, man, these whale man titties, YouTube isn't ready for that, man. They want to censor this content. But, like, free the nipple and also save the whales. Both of those things. Yeah, the stream on my end basically hasn't updated in about 20 minutes. It's just been buffering. As so long as you guys say the stream is still up, I'm just gonna leave it. Well, you know what they say in theater, the show must go wrong. Luckily, no one's broken their legs or gotten actually murdered on screen yet, though. Yet. I mean, I guess I'm kind of lucky because I'm, you know, doing drawing, so it's not like I'm playing a game. This is just, I can see what I'm doing in real life, so it's not like the stream really changes. It's a camera pointing at a page. Riveting. Should I just start drawing memes? Will that give me a career in art? I'm pretty sure if I were to ask someone at my art school, they would say yes. Because the rules of society don't apply there. I don't know if you've ever been to an art school, guys, but it's wild. You get teachers with magnets implanted into their hands and ones that quit their jobs as performance artists so they could edit skateboarding videos professionally. It's memes or titties, Rose. I gotta make money somehow. Yeah, I'm not joking about the art school stuff either. Like every weird example that I ever tell you about art schools, those are things I have experienced. I did have a professor who had a magnet surgically implanted into her hand. And I did have a professor who quit his job so he could edit skateboarding videos professionally, and then quit that job so he could teach at our school. We'll draw big titty furry memes. That will get all the boxes checked. And we'll just get rid of all of my dignity in one go. Okay, so this professor, we called her Professor Magnet Hands. Her name was Cindy, Cindy Wilkins. Oh no, Lindy Wilkins, my bad. She was our physical computing professor. And she, in her biography that she had up for us to look at before we went to the first class, she noted that she was a cyborg. And we're like, oh, does she have like a prosthetic? No, she told us how she said, I got a magnet surgically implanted in my hand because I thought it would be cool. And she showed us her magnet hand and, picked stuff up with her magnet hand. She also told us that if the medical silicon surrounding that magnet were to ever break in any way, she would absolutely die. But it seems like a worthwhile investment. Good class. I did not really like her though, not really a fan of her teaching style. But it was a good class. I enjoyed the content at least. Professor Skateboards was probably one of my favorite professors I've had. Probably the best professor I've had so far. And chances are I'll have him again because he also teaches one of the main classes for my program. So yeah, he's a Cambodian artist. He used to be a performance artist. What he would do is he would go to galleries with like a shitty little printer and he'd print little portions of photographs onto sticky notes. And then he'd put up the sticky notes onto the walls and create these, giant collages, I guess, or giant images on the walls of these museums and galleries. But he quit that so he could edit skateboarding videos, and he showed us some of the skateboarding videos he edited. So then he quit that to teach at OCAD, and he was my, what was that class called? Digital modeling and fabrication professor. So just completely unrelated to all of the things he's done in his life, he's teaching us how to do 3D printing. But he was an absolutely great professor. He really went above and beyond with his students. Like, some people were talking about how he'd come in on weekends to help people with their 3D printing. So really just an excellent professor, very accommodating. We'd be doing our final critiques and he'd be sitting there eating sushi. 10 out of 10. Would recommend. I've had, obviously, more professors since then, but none of them have stood out quite as much as those two. I've had the one who did weird abstract flash animations. And she was a trip. That whole class was just an experience. Not necessarily a good experience, but it was an experience. I'll say that much. She unironically argued that GIF or GIF could be pronounced Xife because it's art school. Logic doesn't apply here. If you wanted logic, you would have gone to a normal school. That sounds like a great math teacher. I have a similar experience in high school, so uh, I guess you two wouldn't know, but I've told this story many times about because of my illness in the second half of high school, I couldn't stay in normal classrooms. I kind of stayed in a little office where it would be quieter, but that meant I wasn't getting the lessons. And what most of my teachers would do, because I was still technically, enrolled in the class, is they would just give me the worksheets and the textbook and say, "All right, go get them." But my math teacher, and I had him all 5 years that I was in high school for various courses. For grades 9 and 10, I had him for regular math. Grade 11, I had him for physics. Grade 12, I had him for physics. And then the bonus year, I had him when I retook advanced functions. And he went above and beyond as well. He would come down during his break to give me, quick rundowns of the lessons. I was pretty independent. As long as I knew what I was doing, I could kind of do the work on his own, but he was always making sure that I was able to understand what was going on. He kept me up to date. And good teachers like that really do make a huge difference to students, not only ones who need accommodations like I did, but even just the regular students. And I think it does make a difference as to how passionate people are going to be about school if they have a good teacher. It also helped that that math teacher, he was an adorable little Ukrainian man. Well, not little. I'm little. And he had his accent, and he would refer to tests and quizzes as quests. I've had a lot of great teachers. I'm lucky I've had very few experiences with just bad teachers, though I have had some. Most of my teachers, especially in high school and now university, have been quite accommodating. Had a lot of shitty teachers in elementary school. I still have nightmares about then. Luca has moved from my bed to his bed. I guess his neck did get sore, like I told him. That's why you don't lie with your head hanging off the bed, Boyle, because you're gonna hurt your neck. Oh, yeah. If your parents call the teacher a bitch, that's how you know. With me, it was mostly my grade 7 teacher who was the absolute worst teacher I have ever had. Like, not even because of his teaching style. He was decent at actually giving us the lessons, but the problem is he was just such a prick. Especially because he tried to market himself as the cool teacher. Like, oh, he says swear words in class. Oh, what a stand-up guy. And he was very popular with a lot of the other students. But the way he kind of retained that popularity was by picking on some of the more vulnerable students, like me, who was autistic. And so I was picked on by the students, and he kind of picked up on that and would also pick on me. And as a student with very poor social skills, that really makes a difference. I still get nightmares about that. And I kind of wish I had done something about it back then instead of, realizing later as an adult, oh wait, he was a prick. Yeah, as established, good and bad teachers can really make or break your experience. My elementary school was just kind of shitty in general. Like, so many of the students had behavioral problems, and it was a small, very small school. Like, you had maybe each grade was maybe about 30 students, just absolutely tiny. So you were in the same class with the same people year after year. And it just kind of keeps this culture. It's not like, new year, you can kind of start over. It just, compounds. Once I got to high school, it was just completely turned around. High school, especially those first couple of years, were absolutely incredible, just the difference that it was. Meeting other students and realizing, oh, people my age can be nice. I have kind of gotten my karma, at least with the students. I don't know about that teacher. I kind of hope he got his karma because he went to teach at one of the shittiest high schools in my city. But with the students, at least, I know one of the girls who used to pick on me ended up, married at 18 and pregnant underage, which we kind of expected. It's one of those schools, guys. Actually, fun fact about that very shitty high school. It appears in a very famous vine. And every time I see that vine, I'm like, man, fuck the kids who go there. Even though I don't know the exact ones who were in that video, most of the people who go there are shitty. And anyone who is familiar with that school would tell you the same thing. I feel like this has been a great story time stream. You guys get all the intimate details about my life. I'm gonna keep going for about 25 more minutes. You know we get deep on these streams. I think the image is kind of starting to get together. We've got most of the figures blocked out. Doing the Rat Collective on, Rises in the sort of at the bottom left here is going to be a bit of a pain, but I think I'm going to use kind of a stylistic, what it is it? I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm shooting from the hip. That's what we do here. We shoot from the hip, and we just hope. Yeehaw indeed. So much color. I love it. That is one thing I absolutely love about doing these anniversary pieces is you get so many different designs on one page and so much color. It's a pain to draw, but when the result turns out well, it's very satisfying. Just so much color. My God. Oh, Rose, the gold is just my personality. Better luck next time. We're gonna go about 5 more minutes. YouTube never did stop buffering on my end. 0 out of 10 will still stream tomorrow. I think this may be the first stream that lady hasn't interrupted. And now I have jinxed myself. And that means somehow in these next 4 minutes, she's just gonna go absolutely apeshit just to ruin it. Because that's what she does. Yeah, it helps that she's passed out on the floor right now. Though if my sister had come home at any point during the stream, she would have gone nuts. She's not much of a guard dog, but she's one hell of an alarm system. Alright, thanks for hopping in. I'm probably just gonna end the stream right now. Alright, we had a good time. Lady was silent, thankfully. We told some stories. I dropped a pen. It was great. See you guys.